All right, I'm calling this the post-discovery of proprietarianism video. So my name's Jerome, and I am in a very happy state today because yesterday I decided to follow a lead looking into a story about, what was it about? About how there'd been a breakthrough in understanding our situation. It was in one of the riot threads or the insanity threads. I think it was the insanity thread around what happened in Atlanta. But anyway, someone claimed point to some videos. So I tracked this guy down, and I've been kind of down and out with how depressing it is for our future, because demographically we were headed off a cliff and into a cesspool, and we were losing on every front, really. And Trump was the last hope, but there wasn't much hope because he was in the hands of, let's say, people who are not allies of my people. So I was feeling pretty down and out. And then, anyway, the happy news, why I'm so happy today. I'm saying my morning prayers here, and my whole outlook is turned around because I found a smart guy has figured out what we should do. And I think he's right. And he's got a good plan, and he's a smart businessman, knows how the world works. He's built many successful businesses, and he's a tech guy. And he's kind of figured out how to continue, continue Western civilization. So the salvation of Western civilization, it's compatible with Christianity, but doesn't require that you sell people on Christianity. That's the other thing that I'm excited about this plan. Not only is the plan, does it look like it really will work? Excuse me, itchy eye. Not only will the plan really work if we could sell it, it is saleable. This plan is marketable to our audience. And who is our audience? It is the productive people, the people who built Western civilization, people like me, and maybe you if you're watching this video. So that's the target market. And the beautiful thing is it solves the impossible, what had been such a drag. Oh, it's so hard because we get so tired trying to turn around the people you could put in the category of leftists. They are they're so resistant to reason and evidence. They just seemingly they can't be persuaded by reason and evidence. They just insist on their parasitic schemes. Oh, and that's the other great thing about this thing. So not only really he has designed this new reboot of Western civilization specifically to be to have an immune system that gets rid of parasitism. So not only does he fix the problem of the parasitic, like the left behinders, that's a good one, left behind, because they're being left behind, but the low IQ people who feel like parasitism is their best strategy, they really aren't attracted to making it on their merits, because at some level they know they don't have that much merit. But for me, the problem that's been really bad is we're dominated by a parasitic elite who have used usury and sodomy and systematic lying and taking control of all institutions and corruption and insider manipulation, all of that to gain control of the American Republic and turn it into the dystopia it's become. But so he's this system, which they call propertarianism, and it has a lot in common with libertarianism, but it fixes the big problems of libertarianism. Anyway, propertarianism has this immune system against parasitism, and I think for it to really work, a lot of activities that the parasites perform, not just the bottom-feeding parasites, but the high-level parasites, are not going to be allowed by law. So the use of force is the only way. Reason won't stop parasites who think that parasitism is their go-to strategy, that it's their best alternative. But we know if we can get rid of them, get rid of their carrying their load and having them rule us, we will thrive. We will get rich beyond belief. So it gives me so much more hope for the future. And it doesn't, because we don't have to persuade them. What we have to do is separate from them. So I love this strategy. It's so much more peaceful. So we find the other good guys and we make this plan to give up with, we can't talk, these people that, there are some people we could persuade, but the target the people we could persuade are maybe what he calls the normie cons. The people who think they're conservative and they're kind of normies. And we can win them over to our plan. But they have to be people who basically just want to be the people that are our market. The people that want to be productive and be left alone and be able to have their families without their family life being destroyed by evil stuff, like being forced, to have these children be LGBTQ'd at school and all this other horrible corruption, the drag queen story hour, and sodomy specials on Netflix. Anyway, so the normie cons are the target market, but so what we do, I've only just discovered this yesterday, so I don't know the whole picture, but I'm just wanting to share my enthusiasm about it, that it's lifted my spirits like tremendously compared to before, to think that there is this way forward. And so it's basically separation, and we fix it. So, and the people that we separate with are other people that have our genetic qualities that allowed us to build Western civilization. So we know we're not going to change the minds of the people. Good morning. Of the people who weren't given the. Anyway, we have the benefit of we in the West, Western Europeans, Northwestern Europeans, have a benefit of thousands of years of evolutionary pressures and selection pressures that gave us the qualities that allowed us to create Western civilization. And we have to separate. We have to make our own country. We have to do a lot of good things, like reduce the franchise to qualified people. So we can't have parasites voting, for example. And we can't have all these non-white immigrants having any power in the political structure. We have to limit that to people that we can trust. And the idea, though, of separating, and there may be, unfortunately, there is a good chance there'll be some, there might be some violence involved, unfortunately, but it's not as hopeless as there probably will be a civil war, but it's not as hopeless as the dystopian future of the United States, disintegrating into this Brazil of the Europeans becoming a minority and a majority of people who just don't get it. So I'm happy. I'm psyched about finding this. If you search for John Mark in YouTube, that's a good way to get there. I'll probably link off this video. And I think the guy who really thought of it is Kurt Doolittle, if I have his name right. But John Mark has been making a whole series of brilliant videos, like to communicate the ideas. Seems like a very talented guy. And that's my report.